The Purple to Mozart and Salieri by the Cape Town City Ballet. These are some of the stories in the art scene that caught our attention this week. Now, we've decided to introduce a new segment on the show where we review leading art stories with the writers and editors of this beat. Now, this week we've invited co-publisher and the production director of Creative Phil, Chris Watterson, to take us through what caught his attention. A very good morning to you, Chris, and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, I suppose we should start with the production that's been getting rave reviews. That's Colour Purple. What's your thought on that?
I think it's absolutely amazing that South Africa is the place where they chose to do the revival after Broadway. So it's the first time that it's being shown out of the United States, and as you said, the reviews have been incredible. Yeah, it's just, and as you said, directed by Janice, Honeyman. I think it's the highlight of the South African theatre season.
Well, I think it is. I've seen it on Thursday last week, and I think it's absolutely stunning. So what stood out for you, and do you think Janice Honeyman succeeded in getting South Africans to actually relate to this piece of theatre?
I think very much so. I think the core themes of the original 1982 book are so relevant to South Africa today that that really came through, but also through the joyousness and the love that's shown through the main characters. And the music, everything. I think it's overall just an incredible production.
Yeah. Now, Chris, it's almost time for Dance Umbrella, and it's one of the biggest events on the arts calendar. So 30 years on, what are you looking forward to?
I think the main thing is Stephen Cohen, who's a performance artist, will be putting on a piece. It's got quite a interesting title, if you don't mind me. Just it says, "Put your heart under your feet and walk," which is basically a tribute to his lifelong lover, Willie, who's a dancer with Dance Umbrella for the last 20 years. So it's a collaboration. Well, it's a tribute to him, and I think it's very poignant that he will be bringing that performance to the Dance Umbrella here.
All right, now this year, Dance Umbrella Artistic Director Georgina Thompson invited Stephen Cohen, as I've just said. Let's hear what she says before we continue this interview.
His first work at Dance Umbrella 20 years ago. And in those 20 years, he's really gone on to enjoying an international career, and he's really made himself very well renowned for what he does. I was in Montpellier last year, and I saw this work that we're presenting this year in France at the festival, the Montpellier Dance Festival, and I decided it would be a good thing to bring him back for the 20th anniversary to show where he's gone, how he's developed, how his work has really become he's really so respected internationally. So that's mainly why I decided to bring him back.
Yes, he is renowned and respected internationally, and he's always been very controversial.
Yeah.
He never sets out to be controversial, just be himself, and the controversy sort of happens around him. So I think it will be very fascinating.
Yeah, I think it will be too. Now, what are some of the productions that you think, in your opinion, are not to be missed? I know Robin Olin never disappoints.
Yes, Robin Olin's got a new piece, also a very long name, which I won't even attempt to try now. And Gregory Makoma from Vianney will be doing a collaboration. He's been with the Dance Umbrella since the beginning, when it was still moving into dance. So that will be very exciting. Then there's a whole host of other things. But I think Robin Orland's and Gregory's would be the main highlights for me.
Now, earlier on in the show, I chatted to the Investor Cape Town Art Fair organizer Tumelo Mosaka earlier. What's immediately jumped at you when you saw the 2018 lineup?
Well, actually, the main thing that got me most excited was the headline sponsor,
which
is Investec, and it's so important because funding in the arts in this day and age is almost impossible. So you have a bank like Investec, and in Joburg we've got the F&B Art Fair. It shows that corporates see the value in art. So for me, that Investec is signed on for 3 years is a really great thing for Cape Town, that they can plan for 3 years. They don't have to spend all their time looking for funding and things like that. The other things for me, it was mentioned in the piece earlier, was the open space, which is 3 women artists were commissioned to produce pieces which would look at contemporary South African women experiences. I think it'll be very interesting. And then the After Hours Hub at the Silos, which is a new district in Cape Town there. which will be accessible to a lot more people who can't go to the convention center.
Okay.
So I think that will be the great part of the show.
Now, what do you make of the new segment titled Solo, which focuses on the production of women artists?
I think it's a great idea because it's site-specific. So the artists have been commissioned to produce their work in certain sites and to portray their view of contemporary women in South Africa. So I think those should be very interesting. I haven't had a chance, well, it's only opening next weekend, but to have a look at that.
Yeah. Now, Mozart and Salieri sees Cape Town City Ballet kicking off 2018 with a bang. I mean, with the groundbreaking adaptation of Alexander Pushkin's short story. What do we know about this piece?
Well, I'm sure the viewers will be quite aware of the movie Amadeus. So it's basically a similar story to that, but done in ballet form. And I think what's very interesting about this particular production is that it's digital projections superimposed over 17th century costumes with the familiar Mozart music. So it's a very cutting-edge piece. And I think, a lot of people might say that ballet is not for them, but this will make them rethink it. It's very exciting, it's very innovative, and unfortunately it's only on for a week, so people must...
and I suppose we can't ignore the fact that it boasts lavish costumes, 3D mapping, animated projections, and costumes by 3 separate designers.
Yes, I mean, that is incredible. So it's... it's old and the new, and in the South African ballet context. So I think it'll be, as I said, very intriguing.
Okay, all right. Now, the contemporary, Chris, the Contemporary Art Jewelry Award exhibition at UJ's Fada Gallery is another one that caught your attention. What do we know about this? Okay,
well, that's going to be, it's an African launch of an idea that as jewelry as art. It's not just as a fashion piece or anything. It's much more than that. And as we know, South Africa does all the mining of the minerals and things like that, but the beneficiation process hasn't got to the next level. So the whole idea of this exhibition is to bring well-established jewelers, up-and-coming students in the jewelry design, to produce jewelry pieces, and then that will be the winner of the competition will then be revealed at a gala evening to really put South African jewelry in an art context.
All right. Chris, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's co-publisher and production director of Creative Field, Chris Watterson, helping us zoom in on some of the leading art stories this week. We are going to do this with different art journalists every week, so let us know which art stories caught your attention so we can review them. Let's go for an air break now.
Today on Rights and Recourse, we will unpack the new traditional court mode.
The idea of the bill is not to overregulate, to basically set the principles.
The most important aspect of this bill is that it understands that customary law by its nature is consensual, that I have a right to affiliate, I have a right therefore to opt in, and I have a right to opt out.
The opt-out provision is basically one that you've got to respect the court in the sense of if you've been summoned, you've got to tell the clerk of the court at least that you're not willing to attend.
The challenge that I would like to throw to the Department of Justice, it has to come up with mechanisms of ensuring that people who exercise their right to opt out or to opt in are not in any way victimized.
Hashtag Rights with Dumila Mates on legal issues every Sunday at 2 o'clock Central African Time.
technology is used for both positive and negative. Some